14. They won by 15. The Christian McCaffrey will hurt as he went down. And I just think that they're going to have more horsepower, even going down 12 minutes left in the second quarter, wanting to grind it out. They only mustered 117 yards, and McCaffrey had 52 of those from the front. What's your take on the 3-0 Carolina Panthers?
Well, yeah, I mean, the question is it smoke and mirrors? I mean, that's the hardest thing to figure out right now. I mean, they kind of looked remedial against a terrible Jets team. You know, we know New Orleans had a lot of injured players, and they took care of business like they were supposed to. And you know, again, they for most of the game they looked remedial against the Houston team that's without a bunch of guys. And now, like you said, you lose a key component of your offense. You may lose a key component of your defense. So traditionally for the Carolina Panthers the last few years, when we've seen good starts out of the gate, what happens is players start to get injured, like we always see happen in the NFL. Their depth comes into question. So if their depth's already coming into question, is that going to be a huge problem for the Carolina Panthers? Because they have not developed a secondary running back, you know, for how many years that Christian McCaffrey's been around.
Well, I didn't understand who was the power back that they had last year or year before last. He was a journeyman.
Journeyman.
Yeah, nobody on the roster right now.
No, but I mean, he was
a
a beefy back that I thought would be somebody they would hang on to, just kind of spell him a little bit.
He didn't do a terrible.
He did not do a terrible job. He reminded me a lot of like a Stephen Davis, one of those pounder type backs, but yet he had some speed. Sam Darnold is doing what I thought Sam Darnold would do. I think he's a game manager. I don't think you can put the team on his back and he win, but I think with the proper coaching and scheme, he can go out there and be successful. The problem is still, and you listen to the talking heads, they still have nothing up front. You know, the only one they got is Taylor Moton. He's a right tackle. He's a Pro Bowl caliber player, but you don't have anything else up front that even comes close.
Well, no, and I think you see evidence of how important an offensive line is when you look at the 5 first-round quarterbacks that were picked and which one is having the most success, and it's Mac Jones because he has the best offensive line, and they're actually scheming for him properly. I mean, they're not forcing him to throw the ball downfield. They're not forcing him to try and win football games, and these other guys are having to do more with a lot less, and that's the overall impact that you get out of it. So, yeah, I always thought, like, as a Patriots guy, when we were talking about quarterbacks, and like last year, I'm like, heck, go trade with the Jets and get Sam Darnold. I thought Sam Darnold was a great quarterback, but you got to protect him.
Well, that hasn't changed. You know, they were talking about how well they've done and stocked up on defense, that next year, other than like a box safety, the next thing that the Panthers need to do, all their next picks need to be all offensive linemen trying to get that line built.
Well, and I mean, you know, the Panthers had a pretty good defense coming into this, and we know J.C. Horn is a very good player. But, you know, again, here's your glaring weakness is that you should have picked a left tackle in the first round of the draft. And I think that's been obvious. And it's even more obvious now when you see that, you know, you kind of started to maybe dominate that game early on. And then when McCaffrey went out, the Texans basically said, okay, we're coming after Sam Darnold. And they almost changed the whole complexion of that game had they recovered that fumble, the first one that he happened to recover. And then the second one, why you're going with 19 seconds left in the half at your own 25-yard line, why you're even considering dropping back and throwing the ball. Imagine if Houston recovers that, kicks a quick field goal. I mean, the game gets changed again, so I don't know what Matt Rule was doing there either.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Let's switch to golf. Ryder Cup gets going today. Give us your take.
Well, good news for the United States is that they might have a quick advantage here out of the gate. First match has teed off. Sergio Garcia hit the first tee ball in the Ryder Cup this year, hit it in a bunker off on the left side, just short of the green. And Justin Thomas and Jordan Spieth have about 7 or 8 feet for birdie, and the Europeans are chipping from the back. And there's statistics that show you that that when you win the first hole, I think you win the match about 60 or 70% of the time. So good thing for the U.S. I actually like the teams that the U.S. rolled out. Be very interested to see the Dustin Johnson, Colin Morikawa. Dustin Johnson is not a very good for some reason, he's just not very good in the team aspect of it. He's excellent in the singles part of it, but kind of like a Tiger Woods, it's like everybody sends their best out against Dustin Johnson. So that's the team for me that I'll be interested to see how it works out this morning. And John Rahm almost just chipped in. So, I mean, I've had the Europeans winning 15-13. Just because they have so much experience on that side of the team. I mean, yeah, this is an American team when you look at the world rankings. That's probably as strong a team from a world ranking perspective as you've ever seen out of the Americans. But, you know, I mean, experience does play a big factor when it comes to crunch time.
You know, Whistling Straits, is this a new venue for the PGA?
Well, they played 2 PGA championships here,
okay.
And everybody was kind of making fun of the fact that, well, you know, some of these venues sometimes play right into the hands of the Europeans. I mean, I don't know why when you know, PGA Tour players, and I mean most of the European Tour players are coming over here and playing anyway. You know, I don't know why we don't play somewhere where it's like 85 degrees and hot and humid, as opposed to going up to play in September in Wisconsin where, you know, it's 45, 50 degrees when these guys teed off, and all week the wind's been blowing, and you're kind of playing almost a linksy style of golf course, if you will. So it's just kind of, we make some odd choices from a PGA of America standpoint. If you want to get the advantage, then you might want to actually play a golf course that's more PGA Tour than European Tour.
And that's kind of where I was going. Everything that I've read and seen, and especially the time of year and what's going on right now, it's almost like you're playing a European-style golf course, which, as you said, why are you setting up a golf course that kind of plays in their hands?
Yeah, I mean, what we've done traditionally when the U.S. team has played well, it's been a U.S.-style golf course. We've trimmed the rough down. We've let our long hitters just go ahead and rip it out there as far as they can, and there's nothing in their way, and they're hitting little wedge shots in there, and they're making a bunch of birdies, and they have success. Now you've got a golf course where, yeah, you can. It's a big boy golf course. You got to hit it long on a bunch of holes, but there's a whole bunch of trouble out there. So it's more like whoever can hit it a little bit longer and much more accurate is going to be the team that has success. Of course, generally it always comes down to who makes the most putts, and that might be a little bit closer this year from a matchup perspective than it's been in years past.
Yeah, and there was some talk. There might be a pairing between of our two favorite storyboard guys, but that looks like that's not going to happen. You hearing anything different?
I missed the first part of that. You cut out. What was the first part?
I said it looks like we were going to have a pairing of our two storyboard guys, the ones that seem to stay at the top of the conversation, but now they're saying they're probably not going to be a matchup with Koepka.
No, DeChambeau and Koepka, that was not going to happen. Steve Stricker's not the kind of captain to even consider doing that. And the funny thing is, you know, you had so many people calling for it, but if you remember, there was so many people that were calling for Phil and Tiger to get matched up. Well, lo and behold, Hal Sutton bit the bullet, and he's the one that did it, and it didn't work out, and he got railed for it. So, you know, let's not let the media run who the teams are. You know, their games don't fit very well. As long as one of the key things that I've said all along is I did not want to see Bryson as part of an alternate shot foursomes team. That just to me doesn't make sense. Best ball all day long, and I think you'll see him go out with Scotty Scheffler this afternoon is kind of the consensus. And I think that's a really good team. When you look at Scotty Scheffler's stats across the board, he's somebody that is, you know, could be very reliable when you start looking at this. I mean, he's a fairly long hitter. He's a fairly accurate hitter. He's pretty decent at the approach side of things. Maybe the putting is where he's not that great, but Bryson on the flip side of that's a pretty good putter. So if that's a team that you can get, you know, 2 wins out of in 4-ball, then I think the Americans have a great shot at winning this.
Well, it's going to be an interesting tournament, and I wasn't aware that it's just a 3-day event, correct?
Yep, so they play foursomes this morning, 4-ball this afternoon, and then the same setup tomorrow, foursomes in the morning, 4-ball in the afternoon, and then 12 singles matches on Sunday. So you get your 28 points.
Yeah. Okay. Way too much thinking for me to do. What you got lined up on the show tomorrow?
Well, we're going to do a little preview on the PGA Tour of next week. So we're going to talk to our man Jason Prendergast, the head professional down at Jackson Country Club for the Sanderson Farms. We'll go out to Whistling Straits and talk to Ron Green Jr.
Mm-hmm.
And as always, we'll talk to Bill Bender of the Sporting News. And Lanny, I'm going to NC State tomorrow for our Clemson Tigers, so hopefully I can pull them through.
It scares me. I'll be honest with you. It scares me. I read an article last night that and this was a talking head that said that he was so disappointed in how the rubbing the rock and coming down the hill has turned into a Dabo event instead of a team event because I'm sorry, I don't remember Coach Ford running down the hill, or if he did, he didn't make a big deal out of it. I'm old school.
Maybe Dabo's a little more athletic than Danny was. I don't know. Yeah, I'm with you. I was there when Danny was there, and I don't remember him doing it either. I think he kind of let all the players go down and then moseyed on down after that. So we'll see.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Greeny, have a great day, my friend. Thanks for calling in.
All right, y'all have a good one, too.
Appreciate it, buddy. That's Greeny from Golf Shop Radio. And,
lots of talk.
The first thing that got me, and Link made a comment about this as well, he didn't understand why they kind of did the advantage based on the course, because the course and the conditions would favor the Europeans based on where you're playing, time of year. 45 degrees and windy and maybe some rain, that's like playing in the British Open. So I thought that was a little strange the way they did it. I give an update on middle school football and some JV action last night. Elizabeth, good morning. Will, good morning. Glad you're up. I hope you're behaving yourself now. I'm going to watch you from my end just in case you're wondering. Let me take a break, and we'll come back, and we'll get into some college football as well.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com.
Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stifel Nicholas can assist you. Call 4Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
And we're back. Thanks for joining in this morning. Still 47 degrees, and I'm still loving it.
That is for sure.
Absolutely loving it.
By the way, I heard on the way up, Chicago White Sox become the first team in the Major League Baseball to clinch their division.
How much is left? 2 weeks? Can't be much more. Doesn't it end
I think
like in the first week, early October?
Yeah, I think we're
Which
down.
I think is too long.
I
think you need to be deep into playoffs the first week of October.
I'm with you. They'll never amend it, but I've always felt the 162 season is just too much of a grind.
Juju said middle school football action from Thursday, Northview over Newton Conover, 26-20, 3 overtimes. I know in JV football, good morning, Todd. Good morning, Bill. In JV football, we had last night, West Lincoln was up 14-0 going into the fourth quarter and lost to Maiden 22-14, if I'm not mistaken. I believe that was correct. So I don't have the other JV scores. It's just hard to get JV scores. Somebody's got some. You want to pass them along. I would definitely
hard enough
appreciate
to get
it.
varsity. But
yeah. Chris Winkler said big middle school showdown in volleyball Tuesday. Undefeated Maiden and Northview facing each other. Maiden is loaded with 8th grade talent, and Northview has lots of 7th grade talent. There was a showdown in volleyball varsity for the first half of the season. Maiden and Bandy's. Maiden wound up winning at 3-1. Okay. But it was a great game. We went to that one. I don't have a kid in school, and I'm still going. I was going to
say, you still got the holdover effect from when your daughter played, and she's no longer.
She likes to go.
Okay.
I go with her.
Okay.
JV football, North Lincoln beat Hickory 22-16. Thank you, Deanna and Bob. I appreciate that.
What's that HB91 update?
Bob says, and I saw that. I saved an email. HB91 update. State legislator says the deal's done. The High School Athletic Association says it's not. Well, here's the part that the High School Athletic Association doesn't understand. It's done.
Yeah.
They don't have to agree to it.
There's no agreement.
Yeah. I mean, they can say that it's not done, but it's just a matter of whenever they pull the trigger. And from what I have read, even Governor Cooper wants it. And so it's going to be hard to stop it if he's not willing to veto it if they can get the
So you're saying all indications are he favors it?
Yes, he'll sign the legislation.
Okay.
This is on highschoolot.com, and it basically says that the Republican lawmakers claim an agreement on House 91 has been reached, but the High School Athletic Association says there are still issues that need to be addressed. They don't get a say.
Right.
Wednesday, a bipartisan group of lawmakers from the Senate and House met with representatives from the Governor's Office, the State Board of Education, and the High School Athletic Association. After the meeting, Republicans said an agreement had been reached. We're happy to report that after months of examining how best to support our student athletes and high school athletics, we've come to an agreement. We believe this agreement will put the needs of our student athletes first while allowing for a better, more transparent governing structure. But the High School Athletic Association did not leave the meeting with the same feeling that an agreement had been reached.
Let me ask you something. The wording of that article, Lenny. Republicans, is this not?
That's the push.
Okay.
The Republican side is the push, but it did say that they met as a bipartisan.
Bipartisan. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
While the NCHSAA is thankful to be provided an opportunity to be able to table and discuss education-based athletics in our state, we know there are still many hurdles to clear before we can reach an agreement with the State Board of Education, according to Commissioner Q. Tucker. In the meantime, the association and its board of directors remain opposed to HB 91. The meeting came after Governor Roy Cooper expressed concerns about HB 91 earlier this month. HB 91 has gone through many changes since it was initially done. And after several amendments, the bill now focuses on reforming the relationship between the association and State Board of Education. The bill passed the Senate, but the House voted 98-0 on Thursday morning not to concur with the Senate. The non-concurrence vote means the bill will go to a conference committee where the legislation will be worked on to reach a consensus between the House and the state. Now, here's one of those things, I guess, that bothers me, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we spending all this time and money? Why is it not just happening? It's not that there's not an issue. It's not that there's not a problem. There's a lot of governmental dollars being wasted, in my opinion, going through this.
Well, I guess they're trying to tweak the language, trying to reach a consensus. There is pushback from the state association, but I don't know. It's going to happen, apparently. It seems like it's going on forever.
The association and other groups involved in high school sports have raised concerns about the latest version, which would restrict the association from doing many of the activities it's currently involved in. Tucker told High School OT in a previous interview that the bill could impact state championship operations and venues, realignments, and ability to give scholarships and grants to students and schools.
My God, that's everything
and other
they do.
Aspects of the high school sports. But is that what you want? Is that what you want in your athletic association? Or should they be in the grant and scholarship business? Or should they just be about running the operation, the nuts and bolts of the athletic competition?
I don't know that much about the grants and scholarships. I certainly do think their main job should be running the tournaments, running the playoffs, the nuts and bolts of the everyday, that kind of thing. And, of course, transparency, I think, has been the key issue on the table, and I assume this bill is going to address that or is addressing it.
Yeah. And also, I don't know if you saw this or not, and Todd just sent this to me. Rob Bliss is gone back into administration now. What happens to the Bandy's basketball job? Is that not where he was? Rob Bliss, former principal at Maiden, has been – he's under contract through 22 or 23. I can't remember. I saw that earlier this morning, Todd, that he's at South Caldwell. They have reassigned the principal at South Caldwell from the way I read the article, and Rob Bliss is the new principal up there.
At South Caldwell.
At South Caldwell. And I think that's effective, like, immediately kind of thing.
Why is this happening now? Most of these things happen during the summer.
I don't know. And they didn't, whenever there's realignments or, what do you call it? where they redo
The
your responsibilities. That's the word I was looking for.
Okay, yeah.
When they redo the responsibilities that you have, usually that's a personnel matter, but the school board held an emergency meeting and replaced the principal at South Caldwell.
Was there some kind of personnel issue?
Well, it doesn't get into it. It's probably because it can't, but
No.
they have brought Rob Bliss in. He will replace him on Monday, replacing Philip Little, and he will be under contract through 2024. Well, that's 2.5 years, right? If I'm looking at that right.
Yeah.
Says Philip Little will take another position in the school system. We want to thank him for his work and continued service. He had been the principal less than a year. Took over July of 2020. Before that, he was principal at Avery County High School. The district will announce his redefined position at a later time.
Aren't they all? Aren't those ousted principals always absorbed into that vast structure known as the county office? That bureaucracy, and never hear from them again.
Yep. He came out of retirement to serve as interim principal. I'm assuming, and Todd, you can correct me if I'm wrong, from October of 19 to June 2020, when this guy came in, took over. During his career, Bliss has been an assistant principal, coach, teacher, and principal at Maiden for 5 years, according to the release, and that's all we've got. So there'll be more coming about that, but I guess my question would be, what happens to the Bandy's men's basketball job?
That is interesting. He came out of retirement, so he's already, of course, once you do that, if you work for the state, you have to go back into the system. You have to give up your retirement benefit.
Bob
you go
Duckworth,
back full time.
Bob Duckworth said Brandon Helms is the basketball coach at Bandy's.
Okay.
Is that new this year, Bob? Because Rob Bliss was.
Last year?
He was coaching basketball, I thought, at Bandy's. Unless I don't think I dreamed that. I think he came back because he was working for one of these, kind of like what I do, selling athletic apparel and stuff. I don't remember the company. Okay. After he took that job after he left Maiden. And then, of course, he's filled in on some interim jobs because, he's been pretty successful at what he does. So it's been one of those things where people would bring him in.
Right.
But thanks for bringing that to my attention because I had forgotten about that, honestly. Let's see. Link had another comment or two I was going to jump in here on. There's Lincoln. He said it could snow up off the shores of Lake Michigan this time of year, which is probably true. And he's also said, Greeny's so right. Why do we give the Europeans an advantage from a conditions and course standpoint? Bob said that Helms was named back in the spring, so I'm assuming that Rob Bliss was the coach through the last season.
Right.
And then Helms took over after that. Let me take our last time out. We'll be back, wrap it up here on the bottom line.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit MooneyInsurance.com. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stifel Nicholas can assist you. Call Ford Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
And welcome back. A couple things we'll touch on. A little college football. West Lincoln. Okay, then I saw it wrong, Butch. I thought that that Maiden came back and pulled that. They tied it up, I think, in the fourth quarter. But he said West Lincoln JV won.
Okay.
But the score was 22-14. I'm pretty sure. Maybe I just read it wrong. Butch also said Rob gave up the Vandy's basketball year after 1 year this past spring. That's when they brought the Helms guy in.
Right.
So there you go. A little college football question for you, Michael Powell.
Mm-hmm.
Charlotte 49ers play tonight. Wake and Virginia play tonight. Charlotte 49ers take on Middle Tennessee. This one is in Charlotte, if I'm not mistaken. Liberty, Syracuse, UNLV, Fresno State. That's your Friday night college football. And I know Charlotte doesn't control the schedule because it's based on TV.
It's based on TV.
Does it not hurt local recruiting in high schools because they're competing with high school football on Friday nights?
I've never liked it. I know it's a TV thing. It's the money. But I'm uncomfortable with big-time college football being played in areas where high school competition is going on. I mean, I think that should be the one sanctum that you don't violate. Go Tuesday, go Wednesday, they do it. They go Thursday. But, Friday, not so much fun, though.
Mm-hmm. But, especially when you think about, and here's the thing. We associate high school football with Friday nights.
Absolutely.
You go up north, it's Saturday afternoons.
I know.
It's a different thing. But down south, that's kind of a revered evening of football.
It's revered as the exclusivity of high school football.
And I think high school coaches have kind of gotten over it now because they don't have any choice.
Yeah.
But, I know that if I look at Charlotte's schedule, I want to say they've got a number of these Friday night games or have had a number of these Friday night games, and you just wonder, how does that
not only
hurt you?
does it take some of the aura away from high school football, Lenny, doesn't it deprive your fans of that game day experience on Saturday, coming to campus, the whole that whole thing of game day?
They play Duke on Friday the 3rd. They play Middle Tennessee tonight, the 24th. They play Florida International on Friday the 8th. So they've got 3 Friday night games. And you wonder, what does it do for you from the recruiting or your coaches going to watch kids play? But I guess with huddle and all that kind of stuff, there's not as much of that in-person type recruiting and watching games.
You don't have to go to – yes.
For Rembert, to my knowledge, in the local area, we do not have any high school cancellations.
Which is like the first time we have it.
Yeah.
In the young season. Am I correct?
I hate to mention this, but could there be some herd immunity going on out there? It's kind of like going back to school where everybody gets sick.
Yeah.
I'm not discounting the severity of it in the least. I'm just making a statement based on what I'm seeing.
Could be.
I just think it's a little interesting. And honestly, I am really, really glad that we're not having the cancellations and kids can get out there and play.
Yeah, and some games have been rescheduled. Isn't somebody playing on a Tuesday night?
Maiden is.
Maiden is. So
that East Burke game. They're going to play, I think Ford told me, Friday, Tuesday, Saturday. You got to have 3 days in between. Kerry Edwards said TV money for Charlotte. Well,
yeah,
not as much TV money, Kerry, but the conferences agree on these TV contracts, and the schools don't really have any input.
They say you're going to.
They don't have any input on start times, like on Saturdays. Your major players in college football, when you talk about them, it used to be a 1 week window. You didn't even know what time you were playing till a week before the game, based on where they wanted to put you on the TV schedule.
That's it. You don't know. To be announced. They always say.
4 says tonight, Tuesday, and Saturday. So they're starting that 3-game stretch with tonight's game. Tonight, Tuesday, and next Saturday.
Now, who is Tuesday's game against?
East Burke, the one that they didn't
conference.
Get. Yes, so and that's why you had to get it in, because it was conference.
So they got to play a tough West Lincoln team that's undefeated on the road, and then tee it back up on Tuesday night against another conference opponent.
And I believe that one's away too. It was originally to be away, so I'm assuming it's still away.
Wow. That's we'll find out a lot about the Blue Devils if they run through that.
Pretty good little gauntlet.
They're going to be home free, I think. I don't want to look ahead. But
pretty good little gauntlet right there.
It is.
Let me catch a couple college games, get your take. Of course, the Mountaineers came back 31-30. Chase Bryce led the passing with 283 yards. Marshall would not go away. They were pretty pesky all night, but App able to pull that out.
They had a 31-21 lead. I'd say they were almost ready to put App away.
Yeah. When I look at, I only want to look at the top, what I consider the top matchups, and I'll tell you some that I picked. Notre Dame, Wisconsin. I picked Wisconsin.
Just reminds me I got to make my picks on your pool, but Camp Randall. Notre Dame struggled. They got a new quarterback, and he's looked good at times, but didn't Notre Dame struggle to beat Toledo?
Mm-hmm.
I like Wisconsin at their place.
Right, that's right. Here's another one upset that I pulled. Mississippi State. LSU goes to Mississippi State. LSU's not playing real well.
got manhandled against UCLA. That's going to be a tough one. You face the air raid attack of Mike Leach in Starkville. Is Ed Ogeron, is the seat getting warm? A guy who won the national championship 2 years ago?
Look at Gus Malzahn from when he was at Auburn.
That's
Same
right.
thing.
Same thing. The Southeastern Conference.
Not very long.
Not very long.
How about Boise and Utah State?
Don't know much.
I took Utah State.
Think about that one. Didn't Boise lose last week? I'm trying to remember who they played.
I cannot remember, but this one's it's at Utah State.
Okay. I might have to take Utah State on the road.
I did not pick them, but it's a game that concerns me because I really like A&M, but A&M's got some injury issues. Texas A&M travels to Arkansas. Arkansas is playing pretty darn good.
Yeah, that guy named Sam Pittman.
That could be an upset.
Very entertaining coach. Got them playing hard. They play physical. Arkansas coming off the win over Texas. Could be a tough one for A&M, which is ranked, sixth, I think, in the polls.
UCLA and Stanford.
Ooh.
I can't remember if I took the Cardinal or not.
I'm going to have to think about that one.
There's some good ones this weekend. Great games this weekend.
I told you before the broadcast, they're just up and down all over the country, just good games breaking out.
And you talk about hot seats. The Cornhuskers have to travel to Spartan Stadium in East Lansing, and I think they take another loss from Michigan State.
Which is just going to ratchet it up. Now, I did think Nebraska played well at Oklahoma. They only lost 23-16. They were in the game, had a chance late. Maybe Nebraska is a little better than we thought, but how about Michigan State? Totally revised team, 3-0 under Mel Tucker. They got a whole bunch of transfers in, and they're playing good football.
Is this an upset in the brewing, or were my Tigers just so anemic last week against Georgia Tech, but could Carolina get surprised down in Atlanta? They're not playing at Georgia Tech. They're playing in the Dome.
In the Dome. Well, Carolina's offense just broke out like crazy last week. Georgia Tech only lost to held Clemson to 14 points, right? And Clemson's off to its worst offensive start since Dabo's been there. I just think Carolina, I think maybe they found themselves a little bit, got a good win under the belt with their offense. I think Carolina will win it. I don't know. It could be a 3-touchdown win or it could be a struggle, but I think Carolina will have enough.
Another game that everybody's talking about that's brewing down the way a little bit. Lane Kiffin is at Mississippi State, right? Or is he at Ole Miss?
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss. Okay. So that game is just a week away.
Everybody's
Southern Miss. I've been to Southern Miss without blatching to a game. Could Ole Miss surprise Bama because the underlying storyline was Lane Kiffin was fired from his offensive coordinator job?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, there's a lot of storylines in that game. Ole Miss has just been playing lights out. Bama had to hold on a little bit against Florida, didn't they? I mean, they didn't.
I like Florida.
Yeah, they just played big.
I like
boys.
Florida to beat Georgia.
Yeah. You got to like Dan Mullen in a big game. Yeah, everybody's already talking about that game. And I even heard this, Lanny. If Lane Kiffin knocks off the Tide, he'll be the next coach at Southern Cal. They'll bring him back. He's already been there once and was fired. I don't think it'd be a good move, do you?
Bobby Petrino.
Yeah.
Has Lane Kiffin grown up?
Well, that's the thing. That's the thinking. He's grown up. He's had his tutelage under the master, Nick Saban, during his days as the OC at Bama, and now he's a good offensive mind. I think everybody agrees to that. So now he's ready to go back to the West, but I don't know. He's going to have to beat Alabama first to even be in the conversation for that, but I could see it happening.
Couple comments here as we wind down. Lindsay Lee says, "Happy Friday, go Heels."
Go Hills.
Ronnie said homecoming is next Saturday against West Caldwell for the Blue Devils.
Saturday.
Butch said Bandy's and East Burke game is rescheduled from tonight. Does that mean that they're playing tonight because he didn't play some other time, Butch? Is that what you're saying? That is the game this tonight? And Stephen Lowe says that the Notre Dame-Wisconsin game is in Chicago.
Oh, that's right. Neutral site. I forgot about that. Not Camp Randall.
Mm-hmm.
My bad. Thank you for pointing that out. I'd forgot.
Bill Klein said South Iredell's playing the first Tuesday in October, trying to get these in.
Well, Notre Dame's not going to play anybody at their place. It's going to have to be a neutral site. That's how much power they have.
I don't like it.
I don't either. I say go, make it home and home.
Yeah, I think everything should be. Yeah.
Right.
The Gators, the big game for them will be October the 30th when they take on UGA, and they got to go between the hedges to play them. But I'm guessing, now that's the one you said was always Jacksonville. Where is TIAA Bank Field? Is that Jacksonville? That would not be – that's not Georgia Stadium. That must be.
It's certainly not between the hedges, is it? Or is it? I don't know.
That is Jacksonville. They play it
Okay.
in Jacksonville. So they it's primarily the home facility for the Jags. So that's where Georgia, Florida will be again.
But why?
I don't know. I got nothing. That's just the way that they do it. All right, the boys will be back in here again in the morning. I'll be gone. I've got to work the Race City Festival down in Mooresville. If you have nothing to do, come see me tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you on Monday.